So students, to begin with the science, first I want to do an experiment with you, okay? Can you get a piece of paper very fast, very quickly? Can you get a piece or a paper or anything, okay? Get it fast. Get it fast. Can I ask everybody to keep your videos on? Yes, Ritvik, Shagun, can you keep your video on? We're going to do an activity first, okay? Okay, so this is my paper. Am I visible to everybody?
Yes, ma'am.
Unmute yourself for some time, okay? So what I'm
Yes,
doing, I'm crumbling it. Everybody do that. Do that. I have crumbled it. Can you do that? Yes. Do it more, 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 more. What are you doing here? What have you done with this paper?
We need a paper.
What did you do this with this paper, Ranveer?
We crumbled it.
And what did you get once you crumbled it? It has changed its shape, right? It was the same paper, but now it has changed its shape, isn't it? Why? Why it changed its shape? Because you applied some force here, right? Isn't it? You have applied some force there. So today's topic is about our force, right? Now you might have understood what the force can be. Force can do what all things it can be done, right? Is my screen visible to everybody?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Okay, what is force? Let us understand that first, okay? Can anyone tell me what do we mean by force? Yes. Huh?
When force means pull or push to move an object.
What you will get once you are pulling or pushing an object?
When it will change its shape, place.
Okay.
Size.
So force we apply to do some work, and when we are pushing or pulling anything, then what will happen? Then what will happen? The work would be done, isn't it? So either push or pull is considered to be the force, right? We can do a lot of things with that. When you are opening the door or closing the door, you are applying force for that. But force is not limited to this one. We need two things. One is magnitude and another thing is direction. Anybody, can you tell me what do we mean by magnitude? Can anybody tell me what do we mean by magnitude?
Magnetic energy.
Okay, what about direction? What is direction? Okay, let me tell you magnitude means what? Magnitude means how much force you are applying for that. Let's say you want to open this door, okay? Or you want to close this door. Just with a touch of your finger, can you do that? Just touching.
No.
No, right? You need to push or pull little harder. Means you need to apply little bit more force, isn't it? Then only it would be either open or close, correct? That we call it as magnitude. Direction means what? You want to open it, so you want to pull it, right? What if you want to open, but you are pushing it? What will happen then? Yes, anybody? What will happen?
The door won't open.
It will not open because you are applying the force in opposite direction, right? So you should be mindful that magnitude means how much force and which direction you require that. So these are the two main things about the force. Is that clear, everybody? Is that clear? Can I move? Okay, then what will be the effects of the force? Just now we have done one exercise with the paper. What we did, a plain paper, and we have made a ball out of it. We have crumbled that. What's been done to that? It has changed its shape. After having your Coca-Cola, Pepsi, you are crushing it, or a water bottle, you are changing the shape, right? You are in the playground and you are kicking a ball. So initially ball was stationary, it was not at all moving, and once you apply the force, what is happening? It starts moving, right? Or you can change the direction, or if some ball is moving, you can stop it, right? So these all are the effects of force where we use that. Types of forces. There are majorly two types, contact force and the non-contact. What do we mean by contact? Contact means when as in physical contact is required, right? Am I right? And non-contact means physical force, physical contact is not required, right? Let us understand. Once you are playing either with the ball, with the badminton, racket, anything, you are using your muscle power for that. You are in connect with the ball or the badminton or the racket, isn't it? You are exercising the dumbbells and all. If you are using, you are in contact with that. We have the animal muscle we are using to pull the carts. So many ways we are using them. So these all are the muscular force and a type of contact force. Is that clear? Right. Another type is frictional force. Who can tell me about frictional force? Who can tell me about it? Shagun, can you tell me what do we mean by frictional force?
Ma'am, can I tell?
Yes, please tell me.
Frictional force means when we rub objects together which form something. Example, if we rub a rock together, it produces fire.
Okay, if I make it more simple, right? The frictional force works when something is moving and we either want to slow down or we want to stop it. For example, in a playground, you have a ball, right? So if you want to stop it all of a sudden or slowly it is stopping, right? So the force that is stopping it or slowing down, that is called as the frictional force, right? Is that right?
Yes,
okay, so what happens here? Couple of factors are here. If rough surface is there, you would be having greater friction than the smooth surface. What do we mean by that? Understand it. I'll give you a couple of examples. You have tiles in your house, right? And outside there is the tar road. On which surface there are chances that you would be slipping? On the floor inside your house or on the road outside?
on the floor.
Why?
Because it is a smoother surface than tar.
Yes. And the smoother surface would be having more friction or less friction?
It's less frictional.
Right. And if friction is less, you have more chances to fall down, right? Another very good example. During the rainy season, right? We should not drive very fast, isn't it? It should be slow. Why? Because when water is there, it would be reducing the friction between the road and the tire of your vehicle. And there are more chances that your bike might be skidding, isn't it? So there are a couple of more advantages of friction, like it would be helping us to walk. Without friction, we are not able to hold anything in our hands because that is working against anything falling down, as friction always works in the opposite of anything moving. Pencil eraser, rubbing your hands together, that all are the examples of friction. But along with that, we have some disadvantages also, right? So first One is like you have bed in your house. Can you move it very easily? Or the sofa, let's say, or the table. Can you move it easily? Yes.
No.
No, you cannot because of the friction. Right. Another thing, after some time, the tires, the shoes, they all would be worn out because of the friction only. These are the disadvantages of the friction force. Is that clear?
Ma'am,
Yes.
what does friction mean?
Friction means it is a force. Okay. This force would be working if something is moving and it is stopping or slowing down. For example, you are playing with a ball. Okay. Either the ball is moving very fast. Now you want to stop it. So what you will do? What you will do? You will stop it. You will catch it. Right?
We'll stop it.
You will stop it. Or if it is stopping by itself, right? It might happen that the ball is moving, but it is stopping by itself. Then the force which is stopping or slowing it down, that is the friction force. Is that clear now?
Yes.
Okay, great. Can I move? Anybody else?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. So another one is mechanical force. We have scissors, knife, train engines. They all are again a kind of contact force, because if I want to cut a piece of paper, what I need? I need to be connected with this instrument, some machine, right? So this is again a kind of contact force. Now we would be moving to the non-contact ones. So first one is the magnetic force, right? Everybody, I am sure that you have seen the magnets and you have used them also. Isn't it? Am I right?
Yes, ma'am.
So what happens here? Do you need to hold this magnet in your hand? Or if you just put it and few nails there, do you need to touch the nails or do you need to touch the magnet? No, right?
No.
They would be attracted by themselves. Means we are not in contact with that. Right? So this is the non-contact force. Similarly, elastic force is there, like the rubber bands are there, elastic are there. So if you stretch them and leave them, automatically they would be, what will happen? They would be coming back into their original shape. That is the elastic force. Is that clear? Anybody, any doubt? Can I move then? Okay, gravitational force. I want Shagun to explain this. This is very easy one, right?
Gravitational force means that a thing or an object on the earth gets attracted and falls to the ground.
Okay, great. Mayuk, is this correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. This is very good that the gravitational force would be attracting everything towards the earth, right? Correct. But now tell me how it is working on, like earth has some gravity. Do we have other planets or other satellites, natural satellites that are also having the gravity?
No, ma'am. No. Everything in space and planets do not have gravity.
Okay.
Moon has gravity.
Yes, who said moon has gravity?
Ma'am,
Mayuk said,
Moon.
yes, moon has the gravity and that is 1/6 of our earth gravity. What do we mean by that? Let's say your weight on earth is 60 kg, just for example. On moon, you would be just 10 kgs. That's it. Why? What is happening there? How many bones do you have in your body?
Ma'am, can I tell?
Okay.
206, 206.
We have 206 bones.
Ma'am,
Right.
I have one doubt.
Yes.
In the moon, are we able to walk flat on the surface or don't we float on top of the moon?
Now you tell me. Okay, we will come to that question also. Let me finish this one first. Okay. So when you are on earth, you have 206 bones and your weight is 60 kg, correct? On moon also, your weight is 10 kg only. Are you leaving behind some bones here on earth and then going to the moon? No, right? There also it would be 206. Am I right? Am I right?
Yes, ma'am.
So what happens here, because of the gravity, 200 bones, 6 bones are there on the earth and on the moon also. That is the mass, means how much material is required to make your body. But because of the gravity, the weight difference is there, right? So this 60 kg is your weight, right? And the matter which is used to make your body, that we call it as mass. Is that right, everybody? Right? Now coming to Shagun's question, she was asking, on the moon, we would be floating or we would be standing. Okay, because of the gravity on earth, we are able to stand. We have a place to stand, right? If suppose we remove the gravity, what will happen? We will not be able to stand on a place. We would be floating only, right? So now you can tell me on moon what will happen. We would be floating or we would be staying on one place.
Staying on one place.
Staying on one place. Are you sure?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Anybody else?
Staying on one place.
Okay. Anybody else? Sorry?
Ma'am, we will be floating.
Okay. Anybody else?
Ma'am will be in the, will be floating, ma'am.
We would be floating. But it has some less gravity. What will happen?
Ma'am, if we have less gravity, when we want to stand, we can stand in the one place, and if we want to fly, we can fly, ma'am.
Okay, you know what will happen? Like normally you are walking on earth, right? On moon, it would be hopping because there is gravity, but that's not good enough to make you stand on one place. Right? So instead, either you will not be floating, you will not be standing, you would be hopping. Understood? Is that clear?
Ma'am,
Yes.
ma'am,
Yes.
on the move, on the move when you jump, you will be jumping higher, and on the earth you will be jumping lower because of the gravity on the
Correct.
moon.
Yes, yes. If you are, let's say, you are jumping on earth, let's say for 1 meter, on moon it would be much higher because the gravity is less there. Right? So there are a lot of advantages going on the moon. Shall we all move there? We are less weight, we can jump high, right? Okay, now bouncing force. What is that? So this happens in the liquids. Okay, so you might have observed, I'm sure, few things are floating and few things would be sinking into the water. Why it happens? There are couple of reasons for that. One thing, the material, how much material is used. But apart from that, we would be talking about the forces here in this chapter, right? So what happens? Bouncing force is a force which would be working in the liquids and it will say, hey, you have to go up. It would be pushing the things to up. But on the other side, what we have? Gravitational force, right? What does it do? It says, hey, no, you have to come down. So what happens? Let's say, for example, the gravitational force is 6, for example, and bouncing force is 10, right? Who is bigger here? Bouncing force only, right? So because of that, this thing would be floating. On the other hand, let's say gravitational force is 10 and bouncing force is 6. Who is bigger here? Who is
Gravitational force.
So then what will happen? The thing is going to sink here. Correct, no?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, very good. And the next one is electrostatic force. Do you know something interesting fact about it? Okay, then I will tell you one experiment that you can do today or tomorrow. What you have to do, you have to oil your hair. Okay. On the other hand, take lot of paper or pieces of paper. Okay, small pieces, and then comb your hair, the oiled one, and bring this comb near to these pieces of paper, and you will see they are attracting towards your comb by themselves. You need not to do anything. Instead of comb, you can
Yes,
take
ma'am.
a filled balloon also. You would be able to see the same phenomena. Why? Because now this is charged, right? Because of that, this electrostatic force, it would be attracting this paper. Okay, is that clear? Do this experiment.
Uh, Ma'am,
Yes.
is it, will this experiment work without oiling of hair?
A little difficult because oil provides the charges.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, everybody. So this was the topic of my talk today.